So now I'm gonna show you guys the glittery eye demo, and for the skin prep I'm gonna start by applying the Origins hydrating mask. It's the one with apricot and Swiss glacier water. It's a nice hydrating mask that I'm gonna apply all over her face. This is great to just hydrate while you do makeup, because I'm gonna do my eyes first and then come to her skin. So while her eyes are being done, her skin can be nice and moisturized during that time. I'm just gonna spray some Evian, this water on her face, again just for extra hydration. So now I'm going to use my light medium here and just cover her eyelid. So the idea is with each demo and each model you guys see a variety of different colors, textures, etc. So we're going to go into glitter today, which is a favorite, but I do like glitter to read again more softer. I don't like chunky glitter. It starts to kind of read very dated. I want it to be a very modern glittery eye. So I'm going to do a colored eye on her and then add glitter to it to show you guys how we can have some fun with that. I'm not going to fill them in, just brushing them up for now. Throughout this class I've spoken about these. I can't live without these. This is like very brown kind of a color. I'm going to use this to make a base. I'm creating a wash of color all over her eye. So if you open your eye, you can see it's a nice wash of kind of a brown all over her lid. This is another palette that I use quite a bit, and I'm going to use these two colors and start to blend that on the outer edges of this eye, just blending that transition color. So again, just dipping into these two colors. They're like medium, kind of almost like peachy browns. So I use a lot of brown for transitioning. So I love palettes that have a range of different colored browns, because I feel they can be used with any eye color, you know, eye makeup. Just blending that color out to create a nice kind of a warmth all over the eye. Again, the brush strokes are back and forth, or we are going circular and going outwards, and going to apply the same two colors under her eye as well. From the same palette, I'm just going under her eye. Now I'm going to take MAC's Naked Lunch, which is another favorite, and I'm going to add that to her brow bone. The soft kind of a pinky metallic color that I like to put in the center of the eye. I also prefer it to do the corners like this. So I'm just blending using the same brush that had the Huda Beauty Obsessions 2 colors. I'm just blending where the light Naked Lunch meets the transition colors, just going back and forth like that to make sure that it's kind of blended into the eye. So now I'm going to add this color from the Pat McGrath palette. So this has like a strange, like at certain angles it all looks almost purplish, then it goes back to looking more blue. I wanted to add a very nice color to her eye and then show you guys how layering different colors of glitter on top can also give a very fun effect. So I'm just, when you're applying eyeshadow especially where you want it to be stronger, the idea is to just press, okay? No swiping again, no like going back and forth. We're packing in the colors. It's a lot of pressing into the socket. I'm going to do that both ways. So I'm just going back and forth. I haven't foiled, I haven't wet my brush. This is just with a dry brush that I'm applying, right? So just going all the way in. If you look straight, you created that nice like colored kind of an eye there. And I'm just where the blue is meeting the brown there, I'm just gonna go back and forth gently to blend that color so it doesn't look like there's a stark edge. So I'm just going back and forth. With the same eyeshadow, I'm gonna go Look Up primer just under her eye as well. And I'm gonna go under her eye to create a little bit of that color to show under her eye as well. Will look very interesting. And now I'm going to take Farsali Mist on my hand And I'm going to wet my brush before reapplying some of that blue color. What this does is makes the color slightly more intense. And I'm going to do the same on the top of the eye as well. So I'm taking a wet brush dipped in that color and now applying that in the socket. Just in the center of the socket, because remember what happens when you wet the brushes, it doesn't blend very well. So I'm not going to the edges. So I'm just going to add the wet part in the center of the eye and not on the edges. That's where we want it stronger. So that really pretty, gorgeous kind of a bluish, purplish kind of effect is happening. And I love this color because it almost reads like I've added a purple in there as well when I've only added one particular color. Just mix these two together, this kind of almost like a reddish color and a brown. And just on the outer corners here, I'm going to create just a little bit of darkness, just in the outer corner here. Just very light, because I want to keep this very modern looking. Now doing very stark corners is, I feel, dated, and I do it every now and then for a look, but I do prefer a blended corner. So I'm just using those. And I'm just, if you notice, going right where I need to, which is this outer corner. It's almost like a V here. Now I'm going to say take some glitter glue. I've added some to my hand and I'm taking a flat brush. Okay, now this is the tricky bit. I'm going to apply this glitter glue on the eyeshadow. It can't be too thickly applied either, otherwise you will have the color kind of disappear. So the idea is to just dab. Again, no swiping, wiping. I'm dabbing in the entire socket area because that's where I'm going to be applying the glitter. So you have to do this in a very soft manner. Keep patting all over that socket till I know I have enough product on. The problem is a lot of people use the same brush to apply the glitter and too much glitter ends up going on the eye. For me, the trick, one of my secrets and something I learned while doing a lot of glitter is that you need to use a brush that doesn't have glue on it. So let's get a fluffy brush like this. This is 𝐤𝐬𝐷 Body Sparkles in 99. I'm just dipping my brush in it, if you can see, and I'm going to dust it off a little bit because I don't want so much glitter to come on her face. I want it to be more almost like a spatter, like almost not concentrated but softer, and I feel with a fluffier brush you're able to do that better. Open, but that hint of blue under is also going to make it seem more interesting than just a flat kind of a shimmery eye. So I'm going to take this brush now, close. I'm just going to go back and forth to just make sure any extra particles that need to fall have fallen out, and we've got a nice glittery, shimmery situation happening. I'm going to go ahead with my wipe now. So one of the worst things that can happen with glitter is you have glitter on your face, but then it's also everywhere. So I'm always very careful of making sure it comes off from everywhere before we do the rest. Another thing you must do is look down, Rahima, from the lashes, also dust it off. So I'm just taking a dry, there's no product on this brush, fresh brush, and I'm just going back and forth between her lashes. So any extra glitter that needs to fall can also fall out, and we can wipe it so it doesn't dust off later on her face. So I'm going to now apply a thin eyeliner, which is what I've spoken to you guys is what I prefer. I like a light, thin liner. I'm just going to put a very soft kind of an application, thin application of the liner. Look down again. Just going to extend it out a little bit. I like to take a dry bud and also kind of move it back and forth between the lashes, because any extra eyeliner that's kind of touched the lash, if they open their eye, then it goes and hits the top part of the eye and it's a mess. So you can just get rid of that and keep making them look down. So you can always take it without any glue on it just to check what it's gonna look like. So yeah, I think it fits fine. So I'm gonna take some of my Huda Beauty glue now, and I'm just gonna apply it on the strip, let it dry. Open and look down. Just make sure it attaches well. Now I'm gonna go back in with these two colors and now gonna shade outward of the eye as well. So I'm just going to drag these colors out a little bit in the outer corner here. And I'm gonna now take the darker color and go really close to the outer corner, look down, and just create darkness right at the corner here. So I'm just moving my brush back and forth, as you can see just here. I'm not going closer to the other edge or the socket. I keep making her open her eye to look down because that's how you can really tell how the eye will naturally be when she's opening and closing her eye. So I'm just adding more of that dark color just to the outer corner, creating a wash of color, nothing too stark because I want the corners to remain softer. I'm going to clean and make that line nice and smooth. So look, keep looking down, blink Rima, and now don't blink. So I'm going to make that a more stark kind of a line, and I'm going to just keep wiping. As I said, can you see there's a lot of eyeliner that goes on the lash when you're trying to, especially after false lashes, put liner. I'm going to continue with this line till outside here. Wipe again. I'm just going to clean her face completely now, making sure we're getting any trapped kind of glitter on the face before we start doing our skin. So I'm going back in with these two colors now, and I'm just gonna go over here as well, just right on top of where we've done the socket. I'm adding a little bit more here, darkness here, depth here. Now I'm gonna go straight into her skin. So I'm gonna apply the Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood filter mixed with some of my Becca Backlight priming filter. I'm taking a Morphe brush here, face brush here, and I'm just gonna buff that into her skin. I want the skin to read slightly more lighter here. I'm gonna do kind of reverse, as in do her skin first and then do her color correction and concealing. So I'm going to buff this into her skin now, the Healthy Mix BB Cream by Bourjois. Before I even do any concealing, color correcting, I'm just going to buff this into her skin and then I'm going to do it on top. I just want to show you guys a slight variety in how I would approach the same face and get same effect, or get contouring and everything happening but slightly differently. You've seen her, one particular look I did on her was matching her own tone. Then we did another look where she was slightly darker. Now I want her to read about a shade lighter than her own tone. And it's a BB cream, so it's what I like about the Healthy Mix is that it's still gonna let skin kind of shine through. Pull your nose down a little bit, right, like that. I'm buffing that into her skin. Then I'm going to go ahead and use Nars Radiant Honey Concealer, just a little bit of it, and mix that with my Tarte Shape Tape in light medium, just a little smidgen. And I'm going to go ahead and go into her areas that we want to kind of color correct, which is under the eyes, sides of the nose, sides of the forehead. So I'm just gonna go near all of that. And the minute you start taking all the discoloration away, you start to even see that color on her eye even better. Around her mouth also, we're just gonna add a little bit of that. And then also on the sides of her forehead. Just stippling the same mixture with my beauty blender, and we're gonna press it into her skin. I want this look to be slightly more pinky and rosy on her face, hence the lighter kind of tone also. Now I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape in light neutral, and I'm going to mix some Nars Radiant in Creme Brulee. These are both concealers. Now I'm going to buff these in under her eye area again to now also create like lightness. We've done the color correction, but I'm also going to keep looking up, create lightness here. Just make sure that the corners are also nicely kind of blended. Look straight into the camera, look up again, going near her inner corners as well, making sure that is also nice and light and bright. Doing the same on her lip area. Right, now I'm going to take some of my Love Tint by Benetint, which is a very rosy kind of a tint. It's actually stronger than the Benetint, so I'm going to add that to my palette. It's even stronger than the original Benetint. And I'm going to buff it into her cheeks. So you're going to smile for me. I'm going to buff, 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 buff that into her cheek. Keep looking straight now and smile. So it adds a lot of nice intense color, but by buffing it, you can make it seem very see-through, which is why I like the Benetint quite a bit. Again, if you've seen my tutorials, etc., I have used it quite a lot actually. So it's a great product to have in your kit. Even personally, it's a great kind of tint to give that nice kind of a rosy feel to the skin, very natural. I'm going to add just a slight bit to her lip as well. I'm going to show you guys her contouring with powder on this. So again, you see a different way of how I would approach the same face. So we're going to powder the face now, because I want to keep this look nice and soft and light to go with the glitter, which I always find to be, when I do looks that I have a lot of glitter, I do like to keep everything else like very glowy and soft. I think that suits the overall effect. And I'm going to apply this mid-medium kind of a brown. So turn this way a little bit into the hollow of her cheek. Always make sure you've applied powder before you start applying powder contours, because if it's wet, it's going to stick and create a mess. So turn this side here. And I'm going to take the same color and very soft, because I want the entire skin to be similar to what you guys saw for the 100 watt. So we're doing some softer kind of contours. Take my sponge again and buff wherever I've contoured. It goes into the skin. I'm going to take the smaller beauty blender now and take the lighter color from the same palette and apply it in the center of the nose. Open. And to the sides of the nose also. The bottom of the eye also. We're just going to add more of that lightness. And I'm just going to give it another sweep on top of the existing eyeliner, just to darken it just a bit. I'm just going to take all the liner off from the eyes. I'm going to take a flat applicator brush and just amp up this area with some highlight right up till even closer, right on in the middle of the eye as well. So just not in the center, but also just not in the corner, sorry, the center as well. Look straight and open and look up. I'm going to take a little bit of it right in the corner of the eye also, just to add a shine there. So up again, so it doesn't look very stark and looks blended. We're just going to do that. Now I'm going to go in with my mascara. Look up again, just slightly more up. So now I'm going to put some Maybelline Great Lash under her, on her lower lashes as well, right? And I always dust some Laura Mercier's powder. Just take a fluffy kind of a brush and I always dust it at the tips of the lower lash. Look up. So it doesn't go and hit the under eye area. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my eyebrow color in Mahogany. And I'm going to start filling her eyebrow, making sure that I'm keeping them nice and soft and thick. So just applying the product to the top part, just making sure that here where it's the bushiest in the front, we don't make it too harsh or dark, because like I said, it ends up making the face look more harsh in general. So you want to not accentuate that. I'm going to take some of my Sephora blush and apply it to the apples of the cheek here. Smile. Just to the apple of the cheek. Again, for a nice peachy kind of a look. And I'm going to take my Huda Beauty palette and then apply 𝐵𝐸𝐲 from that palette. Smile. Right on top for a kind of radiant finish. But keep that to the side. You don't want to apply too much highlighter bang in the center of the face. It starts to look a little odd. Smile again. And I always kind of buff it on top so it looks more like it's a part of the skin and eye. For the lips, I'm going to take a particular combination that I do quite love, which is Fenty's Uncuffed, and I'm going to mix it with Fenty's Unbutton. So you're going to look at me and stretch. So I've applied the Uncuffed on her, which is a warm kind of a shade. Now I'm going to shade Unbutton on top of it. Stretch again. So I'm going to start layering this color on top of this to add a really lovely shade. So now I'm going to use Azores and Santorini from this palette and layer on the outer side of her cheek. So just right here, just for some reflection again, just adding a little bit on the cheek here. I'm going to add some more 𝐵𝐸𝐲 on her cheek. And then go into it with my beauty blender. And now I'm going to take some gloss by Huda and I'm going to add some of that on the lip, just in the center, to add a little bit of a sheen to match what's happening to the rest of her face. So now I'm going to spray some Makeup Forever setting spray. Just turn it a little bit this side. Always spray it a little far away. I'm going to wait for it to dry. And now, as you can see, this is the finished look. We've added some fun with the color element onto the look. She has a shimmery kind of glittery eye happening. It's very modern and contemporary. We've added a lash, nice lip that complements that kind of purple blue happening on her eye. We've kept her skin color slightly lighter for this look. We've added that nice rosy blush so that the entire color wardrobe of the look matches and gives a great effect. Looking forward to your recreations of the look. Hope you learned something.